sinasayang ng kanilang population. Ang population nila kaya ang ilan sa mga pamilya sana sa baha.
Land pollution may seem like a distant problem. Pero actually, nagsisimula ito sa atin, sa bahay, sa kalsada, sa communities. Kaya for today's video, we'll talk about its causes and effects. We are the Group 3, and we are presenting to you our topic, land pollution. I will call now on our first reporter, Mr. Clark Angelo. Ating pakinggan ang kanyang hinanakit sa buhay.
Plastic waste accumulation in Barangay Santa Rita, Guiguinto, Bulacan, an assessment of community practices and sustainable solutions. Okay, first is for the background of the study. Plastic waste remains one of the most persistent environmental problems in the Philippines, with single-use sachets and packaging materials contributing significantly to land and water pollution. In rapidly urbanizing municipalities such as Guiguinto, Bulacan, particularly in Barangay Santa Rita, improper plastic waste disposal has become a growing concern. The barangay's increasing population and consumer activity have led to a surge in plastic use, especially in residential and public market areas. In response to this issue, Guiguinto launched an environmental initiative called the Refill Revolution, spearheaded by the Environmental Management Bureau or EMB. This program aims to reduce single-use plastic consumption by reviving the traditional practice of refilling household products like soy sauce, vinegar, cooking oil, and detergent. Okay, but despite these efforts, the problem of plastic waste accumulation persists in many parts of Guiguinto, Bulacan, including Barangay Santa Rita. Okay, so this study seeks to investigate current community practices in plastic use and disposal, assess the effectiveness of such environmental initiatives, and propose practical solutions rooted in community participation. Okay, so here's some photos that I take from our barangay regarding to our plastic waste disposal management. For the statement of the problem, plastic waste remains a growing environmental concern in Barangay Santa Rita, Guiguinto, Bulacan. So despite various government initiatives, the accumulation of single-use plastic continues to affect the cleanliness and sustainability of the municipality. So this study seeks to answer the following central questions. So first is, what are the prevailing community practices regarding plastic waste disposal in Barangay Santa Rita, Guiguinto, Bulacan? And last is what sustainable strategies can be proposed to address this problem effectively. So, for the narrative summary of all the data gathered, okay, so it gathered responses from the residents of Barangay Santa Rita, Guiguinto, Bulacan. So, mainly aged at 18 to 54 with varying personal backgrounds, including students, employed, and self-employed individuals. Most respondents indicated a proactive approach to managing plastic waste, regularly segregating plastics and from other types of garbage, and showing awareness of the local ordinances and programs in place. So despite this, many highlighted persistent challenges, particularly the lack of recycling centers and a structured segregation system at the barangay level. While participation in cleanup drives and recycling initiatives was mixed, the majority expressed strong willingness to get involved in the future community efforts, such as workshops or educational campaigns. Suggested solutions from the community included building more recycling centers, launching educational campaigns, and implementing stricter plastic use regulations in public areas. But overall, okay, while there's a fair level of environmental awareness and readiness to engage, improving local infrastructure and support systems remains crucial to fully harness community potential in managing plastic waste. Okay. Next is initiatives and recommendations. So first is intensify education campaigns establish a barangay's recycling center, incentivize recycling, ban or regulate single-use plastics, partner with LGUs and NGOs, empower the youth, promote upcycling and livelihood programs, organize monthly cleanup drives, and create a monitoring and feedback mechanism. So for the conclusion, based on the results of this study, it is clear that people in Barangay Santa Lita are aware of the plastic waste problem and are willing to do their part to help. Many residents are already making efforts to sort their trash properly. However, there are still some big challenges, like the lack of proper facilities, limited support from the barangay, and weak enforcement of rules. To really make progress, a complete approach is needed. This includes better education about waste management, improved infrastructure, stronger policies, and more involvement from the community. Some helpful steps could be setting up a local recycling center, starting reward-based programs for recycling, and being stricter about single-use plastics. Getting young people or the youth involved in and working with local government and NGOs can also make a big difference. In the end, real change will only happen if everyone works together. With continued education, teamwork, and inclusive programs, Barangay Santa Rita can build a cleaner and more sustainable community.
Ang sabi ko, Clark, pagtapos mo sabihin mo kung sino next magre-report. Di ka nakikita eh. Joke lang. For our next reporter, I will now call on Miss Maria Pangan Cristina.
Analyzing garbage disposal in inactive irrigation canals in Apalit, Pampanga. Apalit, Pampanga is a municipality known for its active agricultural activities, where irrigation canals play a vital role in supporting crop productions. These canals are only in use during certain seasons, depending on agricultural needs. During off-seasons, when the canals are temporarily inactive, some residents have started using them as dumping sites for garbage. As someone na resident dito sa Apalit, nakikita ko personally na during non-irrigation period, ginagawa talagang dump sites ng ibang residents. Since seasonal lang talaga nagsusupply ng tubig, parang nagiging opportunity sa kanila na tapunan ito ng iba't ibang basura. Also, yung ibang effects tulad ng unpleasant smell na-encounter minsan dito sa area namin, which is uncomfortable and pwedeng maka-apekto sa health ng mga locals, especially mga may respiratory conditions. This study aims to investigate the causes, effects, and possible solutions to the improper disposal of waste in seasonally inactive irrigation canals in Apalit by addressing the following key questions. Number 1. Ano yung mga commonly na tinatapon na basura sa mga inactive irrigation canals? Number 2. Ano yung mga factors bakit nila nagagawang magtapon? 3. Paano ito nakaka-apekto sa functionality ng irrigation system kapag active or nagagamit na ito ulit? And lastly, what strategies or inventions ang pwede i-propose para maiwasan ang pagtatapon ng sa mga irrigation canals? Contributing factors. Seasonal inactivity of canals. Since hindi pa nga siya nagagamit, nagiging way ito sa ibang residents para itapon ang kanilang garbage. Number 2. Low environment awareness. Karamihan sa mga nagtatapon ng kanilang garbage is hindi aware sa long-term effect nito. Hindi lang sa mga taong nakapaligid, pati na rin sa magiging quality ng soil once na magiging active ulit yung irrigation system. Weak enforcement of ordinances. As far as I know, hindi na monitor na maayos and hindi sila ganun ka-strict dito. Proximity and convenience. Since malapit nga sa mga residential areas, parang nagiging opportunity sa kanila ito para magtapon ng basura. Impacts. Improper waste disposal in inactive irrigation canals reduces soil fertility, contaminates crops, stunts plant growth, attracts pests, increases flooding risk, and can make nearby land unfit for farming. initiatives and recommendations. Strengthen waste management through barangay and LGU monitoring. Enforce RA 9003 with penalties or service. And raise awareness via campaigns. Organize regular cleanups, especially before irrigation. Offer incentives for proper disposal and pass local ordinances to protect the seasonal canals. In conclusion, improper waste disposal in temporarily inactive irrigation canals in Apalit poses a serious threat to agricultural and the environment. Seasonal misuse of these canals leads to pollution and soil degradation. Addressing this issue requires collective action, proper waste management, regular canal maintenance, and strong policy enforcement to protect farmland and local livelihoods.
An environmental assessment of open waste burning in Paumbong, Bulacan by Real Adrian Ilustre. So for the background of the study, Paumbong, known for its agricultural productivity and local delicacies such as taba ng talangka and vinegar, relies heavily on clean and fertile soil for economic and food security. However, the growing problem of improper waste disposal, particularly open burning, raises concerns about long-term soil degradation and environmental pollution in the area. Open waste burning remains a common practice in many rural and semi-urban areas in the Philippines, including municipalities like Paumbong and Bulacan. Open burning involves the combustion of mixed waste materials such as plastics, paper, rubber, and organic material, often releasing toxic substances into the environment. So for my topic, it was focused after the process of open waste burning. Ano yung mga possible effects niya directly sa soil or sa land? Ang pagsisiga kasi is not just only affecting the quality of air in our surroundings. Beyond that, it can also affect land pollution in several direct and indirect ways. Isa sa mga lumalalang problema sa lugar ay ang hindi pagtatapon ng basura, particular na ang pagbibigay ng apoy sa mga ito, o ang tinatawag nating pagsisiga. Ang ganitong gawain ay nagdudulot ng mga alalahanin tungkol sa pangmatagalang epekto at pagkasira ng lupa at polusyon sa kapaligiran. Ang mga pictures na ito ay resulta pagkatapos ng pagsisiga. Makikita rin na naiimbak sa specific na lugar ang mga basura. Dahil dito, nababawasan ang sustansya ng lupa lalo't higit na na-expose ito sa high heat from fire. Here are some common causes why open waste burning is being practiced. Open waste burning happens for several social, economic, and environmental reasons. Number 1 is cost and convenience. Burning is a free and easy way to dispose waste materials. Madali at mabilis na paraan upang mapababa ang dami ng basura. Next is the poor waste management systems. Absence of garbage collection services and recycling centers or landfills, especially in remote areas. Dahil dito, napipilitan or nagiging habitual na sa iba ang pagsisiga ng basura. Next is the clearing space quickly. Burning is used to quickly remove trash, leaves, or agricultural waste in specific area. Common ito sa mga lugar na maraming puno na nagbababa ng mga tuyong dahon. And agricultural practices. We often see farmers burn crop residues, dry leaves, and stalk after harvesting. This is done to prepare land for the next planting season, despite its environmental impact. For these causes, here are the effects and contribution of burning trash to land pollution. Number 1 is soil contamination and reduction of soil fertility. The high heat from fires can kill beneficial microorganisms in the soil, disturb natural decomposition processes, and degrade organic matter, making the land less productive. Next is the deposition of toxic residues. When trash is burned, specifically materials like plastics, rubbers, and treated wood, these pollutants don't just disappear. They settle back bilang abo, or what we call the particulate matter. Next is the introduction of non-biodegradable ash. Burned trash often leaves behind non-biodegradable residues. These materials accumulate on the land and do not break down easily, contributing to long-term land degradation. And lastly, the spread of pollution, or what we call the runoff. Contaminated soil particles can be carried by rainwater runoff into nearby rivers, wetlands, or farmland, spreading land pollution to the other areas. So for the study regarding open waste burning, one is a 2023 survey by Social Weather Station indicated that 27% of Filipinos dispose of their garbage by burning, despite existing laws prohibiting this practice. It means 1 in every 4 Filipinos burn garbage despite a 2-decade-old law prohibiting the open burning of solid waste. Next is some informal discussions across the country revealed that many residents and local officials are not fully aware of the health and environmental risks associated with open burning, leading to a perception that compliance with regulations is optional. Some policies regarding open waste burning. The Philippines has established laws to address open waste burning. Republic Act 9003, known as the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000, explicitly prohibits the open burning of solid waste. Violations can result in fines ranging from 300 to 1,000 pesos or imprisonment from 1 to 15 days or both. The National Solid Waste Management Commission or NSWMC has called for stricter enforcement of laws against open burning and promotes alternative waste disposal methods. Some initiatives and recommendations. To address the challenges posed by open waste burning, several initiatives should have been implemented. One is barangay initiatives, implementing alternatives to open burning such as composting and waste segregation programs, resulting in reduced pollution and improved community health. Next is policy enforcement. Strengthening the enforcement of existing laws and regulations is crucial. This includes conducting regular inspections, imposing fines for violations, and providing training for local officials on effective waste management practices. Next is public awareness campaigns, educating the public about the dangers of open waste burning and promoting alternative waste disposal methods can lead to behavioral changes and increased compliance with regulations. And then, improve waste management infrastructure, develop and provide accessible waste collection and recycling facilities to reduce the need for open burning. And lastly, for the conclusion, this assessment of open waste burning in Paumbong, Bulacan reveals that this practice remains a significant environmental and public health concern. Despite existing waste management policies, open burning continues to be widely practiced due to limited awareness, inadequate waste disposal infrastructure, and the absence of strict enforcement at the local level. The study highlights that residents are often unaware of the long-term health risks and environmental consequences associated with this method of waste disposal, such as air pollution, respiratory illness, and soil degradation. Overall, solving the problem of open waste burning, or pagsisiga, requires close cooperation among the government, the local officials, and especially the citizens in order to achieve a clean, safe, and sustainable environment for the present and future generations.
Hindi yan sila nakikinig, sir. Sabi ko, lagay sa dulo kung sino next reporter eh.
In the next topic, the effect of improper waste disposal and the absence of efficient collection in Barangay Abulalas, Saguenay, Bulacan. Next is background of the study. The study is about solid waste in Abulalas, Saguenay. Abulalas is one of the barangays in Saguenay, and one of the problem it faces is solid waste management. Based on my observation, one of the issues is the scattering of garbage on the streets. It is common to see trash such as plastic, bottles, bags, and other types of waste scattered along the roads, which are not disposed of properly. Because of this, some of the residents of Abulalas just throw their waste along the roadside. Another thing I observe is the improper disposal of waste. Most of the residents in Abulalas do not follow the proper waste disposal rules, so most of the trash ends up on the streets instead of in designated waste bins. This also leads to the lack of the proper waste collection system. Next, ito naman po yung mga napansin kong pollution sa aming lugar. Ito. So mga nakita ko pong kalat sa mga kalsada. Next is cause and effect. Number 1, improper disposal of waste on the road or roadside due to lack of knowledge or concern for the cleanliness of their environment. Number 2, lack of programs to raise awareness about proper waste segregation, recycling, and disposal. And sa effect, number 1, garbage accumulating on the roadside, such as plastic, bottles, and other waste, can damage the roadway. This is because the garbage can release oil or leachate, and it can also interface with motorists or bicycles. Number 2, when there is no proper recycling program, recyclable materials such as plastic, paper, or cardboard may just end up in landfills. Because these materials do not decompose easily, it leads to the continuous accumulation of waste that takes many years of breakdown. Next is recommendation. Number 1, more trash bins around the area. Placing more trash bins in public area will make it easier for residents to properly dispose of their waste and reduce littering. Number 2, set up a resellable drop-off point, designating a specific area for resellable materials will encourage residents to properly dispose of resellables item and reduce waste. Number 3, put up reminder signs. Placing reminder sign in key location will remind people of the importance of proper waste disposal and encourage them to follow the rules. Number 4, partner with junk shop for resellables. Collaborating with junk shop to collect resellable will help in processing and reusing materials, promoting a more sustainable waste management system. And last, use reusable bags and containers. Encouraging the use of reusable bags and containers will significantly reduce the use of single-use plastics and minimize waste generation. And for the last, conclusion. According to the study, the issue in solid waste management in Abulalas, Hagonoy are primarily caused by improper waste disposal and the lack of recycling program. The scattered waste along the roadside, such as plastic, bottles, bags, or cardboard, indicate the lack of proper waste collection in recycling system, which leads to improper waste disposal. It is important to address this type of system by educating and community on proper waste segregation of disposal, as well as improving the waste collection system and promoting recycling program. And thank you po.
Hi, my name is Anna Marie Bugo and I'll be presenting my research titled Sinking Ground, the Impact of Groundwater Extraction on Land Subsidence in San Fernando, Pampanga. For the background of the study, San Fernando is currently experiencing land subsidence, which means the ground is gradually sinking. This is not just a natural occurrence, it is largely caused by human activity, especially nga yung mga nag-excessive extraction of groundwater. And as the city continues to urbanize and the population grows, the demand for water is tumataas. Since yung lugar na yon, wala siyang masyadong major na rivers or lake nearby, yung mga residents, yung mga business farms, nagtuturn sila ng kanilang mga deep well to meet their water need. However, when too much groundwater is pumped out, the underground layer, especially those made of soft clay sediments, begin to compact. This leads to the sinking of the land surface. We're already seeing the effect, which is yung mga flood na kadalasang umaan sa mga lugar, katulad nga ng San Fernando, Pampanga. Yung mga cracked roads, yung mga damaged building, and even yung saltwater intrusion, which threatens both drinking water and agriculture. And also, this is the example of underground water pumping or extraction. And for the key reasons behind the widespread of groundwater in San Fernando, Pampanga, to sum up this, there is no lack of excessive surface water, and rainfall is seasonal, so many barangays don't have consistent access to the public water supply, so people dig their own well, and agriculture and industry require large amount of water, and groundwater is most reliable option, especially during the droughts and dry season na nagme-make ng worse by climate change. And for the next slide, to sum up this, beyond land sinking, groundwater overuse also contribute to land water pollution. In many areas without sewage water, septic tanks are common. When the water drops, these tanks are more likely to leak, polluting both the soil and the shallow groundwater. In coastal area, saltwater intrusion can make the land more saline and less fertile. And yung mga industrial zone waste disposal become a serious risk, especially when poorly managed or unregulated nga yung mga nag-aalaw sila ng mga pollutant to seep underground water. And for my studies and policies, according to experts like Brian Williamore, Pampanga is at risk of sewage water shortage if over-extraction becomes by 2025. So ito nga, this year nga niya nape-predict yung phase ng San Fernando, Pampanga ng groundwater scarcity. And nag-highlight nga siya ng the needs for stronger management and policy enforcement. For my policy enforcement, na pag hindi nila nasunod yung mga requirement na EIA, yung mga EEC or yung requirement na kailangan ng DNR, na face sila ng suspension, mga cancellation sa admission ng mga fine, and magka-file sila ng mga criminal records sa mga mag-violate na itong law na to. And for my recommendation, strict groundwater instruction, limit with penalty for overuse, and designating groundwater protection zone to prevent overpumping in critical area, creating a national groundwater task to oversee sustainable practices, and reforming the water code of the Philippines to include stricter regulation and modern environmental safeguards. And for my conclusion, to conclude all of this, groundwater is a valuable resource, but if we continue to use it responsibly, we risk damaging our land, our homes, and our future. We need immediate action not only for government but from the community as well to ensure that our water and our land remain sustainable for generations to come. And for the next reporter is Arnold. Thank you so much.
Good day everyone, I am Arnold Lance and I am going to report my research, and it's all about deforestation in Pulilan, Bulacan, factors, impacts, and alternative solutions. So sa first slide is background of the study. Deforestation. Ano nga ba ito at ano nga ba ang epekto nito? I know, karamihan sa inyo is alam na ang deforestation. At ano nga ba ang mga epekto nito sa ating kapaligiran? Pero ang deforestation ay isang issue sa isang lugar o bansa na nagdudulot ng pagkasira ng kagubatan, pagbabago ng klima, nagdudulot ng sobrang init sa isang lugar. Isa lamang yan sa mga epekto ng deforestation. Ang mga kagubatan ay sakop ng 30% of the Earth's geographical area at ito ay nagsisilbing mahalagang papel upang mapanatili ang balanseng ekolohiya. Sa paglipas ng panahon, patuloy ang paglawak ng deforestation, particular in tropical places. Isa na rito ang Pulilan, Bulacan. Ang mga aktibidad ng tao at natural na mga salik ay nagsasama-sama upang maging sanhi ng deforestation. Bagamat ang mga natural na pangyayari tulad ng pagbabago ng klima at mga natural na sakuna ay maaaring humantong sa pagkawala ng kagubatan. Ang mga aksyong ginagawa ng tao ang pangunahing sanhi ng deforestation. Ang Pulilan, Bulacan ay isang lalawigan sa rehiyon ng Gitnang Luzon na nakakaranas ng deforestation sa mga nakaraang taon. At malaki ang naging epekto nito. At ang pagkasira ng kagubatan sa Pilipinas, particular sa Pulilan, Bulacan, ay nangyayari sa pamamagitan ng pagtotroso, pagkuha ng mineral, pagdami ng populasyon at iba pang gawain ng tao. As you can see, those pictures represent what deforestation is. At yung mga tatlong picture na yan ay nakuha mismo sa lugar ng Pulilan, Bulacan. At makikita naman natin dito na kalbo talaga kasi base dyan sa picture is gagawin daw factory yung mga nandyan sa picture na yan. So, ang third one is findings. Base dyan sa findings, ang Pulilan, Bulacan ay nawalan ng 20 na hektarya ng mga puno from 2001 to 2023. So, makikita natin na pabago-bago yung pagtaas at pagbaba ng mga pagputol ng puno kada taon. So, sa next slide is, these are the other findings of deforestation in Pulilan, Bulacan. Deforestation can lead to drier, more combustible landscape, rising the danger of wildfires. Next is deforestation can offend the livelihoods and traditions of cultures of societies that rely on forest supplies. Next is, while deforestation rates have lessened in some areas, the overall loss of forests is still a major concern. Besides the use of fossil fuels, deforestation is the second leading cause of worldwide emission of carbon dioxide. Also, these are the discussion of deforestation in Pulilan, Bulacan. So, sustainable forest management, replanting activities, and regulation that encourage responsible land use are critical for minimizing deforestation. Global cooperation is critical to combining deforestation, particularly initiatives to lower demand of deforestation causing items such as palm oil and cattle. Forests regulate the climate, preserve biodiversity, and provide critical ecological services. And last one is rapid action is required to prevent deforestation and repair damaged ecosystems, assuring a sustainable for both people and the environment. So for recommendation, use less paper and prepare recycled paper goods. Support reforestation activities to establish natural woods in region where none previously existed. Third one is advocate agricultural practices which incorporate trees into fields. Fourth, choose firms that are committed to lowering their environmental impact and preventing deforestation. Take part in tree planting projects to help restore deforested areas. Inform others about the problem and assist groups dedicated to combining deforestation. Last one, encourage ethical farming methods such as crop rotations, organic farming, and the use of less toxic pesticides. For conclusion, deforestation in Pulilan, Bulacan is a serious environmental problem that requires an immediate response. The reason for the destruction of forests are numerous, including illegal logging, agriculture expansion, urbanization, and mining. Deforestation has far-reaching consequences for biodiversity, soil stability, climate change, and the well-being of local communities.
Next reporter is me. Ako na to, guys. An observational study about improper waste disposal in Haguni, Bulacan. Land pollution is one of the most pressing environmental issues in many communities today. It refers to the degradation of the earth's surface caused by improper waste disposal, chemical use, and human negligence. This report highlights a real-life example of land pollution in San Agustin, Hagonoy, Bulacan. Eto. This photo was taken near our area in San Agustin. It shows a long stretch of garbage dump on the roadside. Mostly plastic bags, food waste, packaging materials, and even cardboard. This unsightly scene is not only unpleasant to look, but also harmful to both the environmental and public health. Common cause. One of the main reasons for this pollution is the lack of garbage trucks. Konti lang kasi yung mga truck na, parang wala pa nga ata or minsan lang dumadaan, ganun. Kaya natatambakan yung yung mga basura dun sa gilid. And also, the absence of a proper consistent waste management system is a major contributor to this growing problem. Yung mga tao naman din kasi, mga tao naman dito din, alam na ang mali doon, nagtatapon pa rin, kaya yun, malala. Common effects: health hazards, environmental damage, flooding risk, which is common na. Recommendations: improve waste collection service by adding more garbage trucks and scheduling regular pickups. Maganda to. Pwedeng makiusap sa mayor o kaya gov na mag-provide ng trucks or mga pwede ring garbage bin, ganun. Tas regular schedule para hindi na naiipon. Number 2 is turuan yung mga tao na tamang segregation. Yan. Number 3, implement stricter penalties for illegal dumping to discourage improper practice. And pwede ring mag-penalty na yung mga tao pagka hindi sumusunod sa batas na to. And conclusion: land pollution in San Agustin, Bulacan is a serious concern that needs immediate attention. It is not just the responsibility of the government, but of every individual in the community. Through cooperation, proper planning, and discipline, we can help reduce pollution and protect our environment for future generations.
An environmental analysis of land pollution in Bukawi, Bulacan. Background of the study. Bukawi, Bulacan, known for its fireworks industry, has played a pivotal role in shaping the town's economic landscape. The demand for Bukawi-made fireworks not only during local festivals but also for various celebrations and events nationwide has fueled economic growth and prosperity. However, it also faces severe land pollution due to industrial waste, improper waste disposal, and urbanization. Hazardous materials from fireworks combined with poor waste management and frequent flooding contribute to environmental degradation and health risks. So ayun, malaki talaga ang naitutulong ng fireworks industry sa ekonomiya ng Bukawi. Pero ang downside nito, maraming waste at chemicals ang napupunta sa ating kalikasan. Lalo na kapag walang maayos na waste management at madalas pang bumabaha. Mas lalo itong nakakaapekto sa ating lupa at sa ating kalikasan. Kaya mahalaga nating pag-usapan ito. So, ito yung mga ilang features na kung saan makikita talaga natin yung impacts ng hindi tamang pagtatapon ng basura at yung mga chemicals na may chance na makaapekto sa ating kalikasan. So, let's proceed to the contributing factor to land pollution. First one is industrial waste. Fireworks and manufacturing industries release hazardous chemicals into the environment. Second, improper waste disposal. Lack of proper waste management leads to garbage accumulation and pollution. Lastly, urbanization and population growth. Increased waste production due to expanding communities. Ito yung mga pangunahing dahilan kung bakit lumalala ang land pollution sa lugar. Yung mga factory, lalo na sa mga factory na paputok, naglalabas ito ng harmful chemicals tapos pag hindi maayos ang pagtatapon ng basura, syempre, naiipon lang yan sa kung saan-saan. At dahil dumadami rin yung tao sa lugar, dumadami rin yung basura. Let's proceed to the resulting effects and impacts of land pollution. Una ay yung public health risk. Exposure to toxic substance can lead to respiratory and skin diseases. Second, flooding and drainage issues. Black waterways lead to more frequent and severe flooding. Last one is soil and water contamination. Pollutants from industrial and household waste harm ecosystem. Dito naman, ang epekto nito ay hindi lamang sa environment, kundi pati na rin sa tao. May health risk siya gaya ng ubo, hika, at skin diseases dahil sa toxic materials. Pag barado yung mga kanal, syempre, may chance na magbabaha kagad. Tapos yung lupa at yung tubig, maapektuhan din. Hindi na healthy ito para sa atin, syempre. Let's proceed to the conclusion. Land pollution in Bukawi, Bulacan is a serious problem caused by the fireworks industry, poor waste disposal, and rapid urban growth. While fireworks help the local economy, they also release harmful chemicals and waste that pollute the soil and water, affecting public health. The growing population and lack of proper waste management make the problem worse. To solve this, we need better waste management, stricter environmental laws, and more awareness about sustainable practices. If the government, businesses, and local people work together, Bukawi can reduce land pollution and improve the environment for future generation. Kaya kung titignan natin, malala na talaga yung naging epekto ng land pollution sa Bukawi. Pero may magagawa naman tayo. Kailangan lang ng disiplina at mas maayos na waste management, syempre sa tulong ng gobyerno at mga tao. So, kung matutulungan natin ito, possible pa rin na maging clean at healthy ang ating environment. Yun lamang po at ako po uli, si Christian Uwapericua, at nandito naman po si Carl para po i-discuss yung kanyang topic. Thank you.
So I'm Carl Aldrich Biagirit, and now I'm presenting the factory's toxic footprint. The effect of toxic and scrap brought by the factories to the land in Pulilan, Bulacan. Background of the study: the municipality of Pulilan, situated with the dynamic province of Bulacan in central Luzon, Philippines, has experienced a notable degree of industrial growth in recent decades. A positive development within the area has brought about both economic opportunities and potential environmental challenges. We all know naman that Pulilan is one of the places here in Bulacan na maraming factories, and these factories help a lot of people economically. Despite the advantages of this factory's establishment, it also has a disadvantage to our environment. These factories represent a diverse range of industries, potentially including food processing, manufacturing of consumers' food, construction materials, and other sectors. So in these pictures, ito ang isa sa mga industrial waste of one of the factories here in Pulilan. Primary source of industrial waste. First, improper storage and disposal. Factories that doesn't dispose waste properly and has no organized storage may lead the chemical leaching into the soil and groundwater, potentially contaminating drinking water sources and harming the ecosystem and can affect the fertility of the soil. Second, industrial activities. Factories and other industries produce waste. Some of it is harmful. If this waste isn't handled properly, it can end up polluting the soil. Third, lack of regulation or enforcement. Weak enforcement can create opportunities for illegal dumping of hazardous waste, operation of polluting facilities without permits, and other activities that directly contaminate the land. The lack of monitoring and inspection make it easier for such illegal activities to go undetected, resulting effects and impact of the land pollution. First, soil nutrients imbalancement. Pollution messes up the soil food supplies for plants. Some pollutants can prevent the plants from getting the nutrients they need, or they can overload the soil with other things, making it difficult for plants to feed and grow well. Second, reduce soil aeration. It squishes the air pockets in the soil. Healthy soil has spaces for air and water, which roots need to breathe. Pollution can clog these spaces, making the soil dense and suffocating the roots. Third, creation of dead zones. Pollution can make parts of the soil so poisonous that nothing can survive there. This dead zone happens because the harmful substance kill off the good bugs and other tiny creatures that keep the soil healthy, turning it into a lifeless area where plants can grow. Based study from a paper of Akanmo year 2009, industrial waste significantly contributes to environment degradation, polluting our land, water, and air. Many industrial processes release toxic substances that contaminate the soil. Some policies are Presidential Decree Number 1586 Environmental Impact Statement System of 1978. This decree established the Environmental Impact Assessment System to ensure that environmentally critical projects, which often include large industrial facilities, undergo a true assessment of their potential environmental impact before being implemented. In conclusion, the industrial growth experienced by Pulilan, Bulacan, while offering economic benefits, present a potential threat to the local land environment due to the generation potential mismanagement of industrial waste. Understanding the specific industrial activities, their daily operational practice, the effectiveness of existing environmental regulation, and their enforcement is crucial to accurately assess the extent of the land pollution in the area. To ensure the suitable development of Pulilan and protect its land resources, a thorough investigation into the specific industrial activities and their waste management practice is necessary.
Moving on to the analysis on land pollution due to road constructions in San Rafael, Bulacan. First, here's some background. The town of San Rafael, Bulacan is remarkable for its rich agricultural lands, as it is the primary source of food and income for the residents. Thriving for development, it is one of the nearby towns to have the Plaridel Bypass Road be constructed on. Although it is a very large and valuable step for our progress, though inevitable, it has brought some drawbacks that mainly contributes to land pollution. Now, let's talk about the things that further result in land pollution. First, the bypass road construction itself. Building it requires clearing of big areas of land, including farmlands. Second, the construction waste. During and after the construction, there are certain materials that were left behind, such as cement, gravel, metal sheets, and other scraps. Then, with improper disposal of these materials, it leads us to the question, how does it really contribute to land pollution? Firstly, it greatly pollutes farmlands. The leftover waste makes these spaces of land not as usable as before. Secondly, it contaminates the soil with the chemicals from construction materials, sinking into the soil, making it less susceptible for plants to grow. And lastly, cement and gravel waste can harshly damage the ground, hardening over time and blocking water from entering the soil, degrading it in the process. So, what can we conclude from the discussion? The construction of the Plaridel Bypass Road has indeed brought improvements in travel and livelihood opportunities. But at the same time, it has caused some disadvantages like land loss, soil pollution from construction waste, reduction and damage in spaces for farming. This affects not just the land, but the people who depend on it for their everyday lives. As citizens, what solutions can we recommend the authorities to mitigate the pollution brought by the road construction? Here are some. A simple cleanup of the leftover construction materials properly and avoid dumping them on open land. Next, protect remaining healthy land spaces by limiting how much land can be converted for buildings and roads. And most importantly, encourage responsible development that engages both growth and care for the environment.
Let's go. Baka improper disposal of solid waste in Agone, Bulacan. Next. Background of the stench. Agone is a municipality in the province of Bulacan. It is mainly a fishing municipality that offers a variety of harvests, which includes prawns, shrimps, milkfish, tilapia, crabs, mussel, and oysters. With its abundant water resources and the coastal nature of the town, then the majority of the population is independent of the fishing industry. So, halos lahat ng mga taga-Gonoy ay umaasa sa pangingisda dahil sa mayroon itong yamang dagat tulad ng hipon, alimang, alaba. So, ito yung ilang picture na nakita natin na impact dahil nakaka-apekto ito sa kalikasan. So, ano ba? Common causes. Littering and illegal dumping on roadside and that result from a lack of awareness or disregard for the cleanliness of their surroundings. So, ang mga madalas na pagtatapon ng mga basura sa tabing kalsada o mga bakanteng lote, hindi nila alam na nakaka-apekto ito sa kalikasan. So, obviously, yung makakita. Dumping garbage on the river due to lack program of policies and ordinance that make people unaware to the penalties. So, ayun nga. Yung mga tao na nagtatapon ng basura sa lote or sa ilog ay dahil walang sapat ito na patakaran. So, no? Common effects. Trash piling up along the roadside, like plastic bottles and various debris can harm the roadway. This occurs because of the trash bin can emit oil or chat, and it may also disrupt motorists or vehicles. So, kapag yung mga basura tulad ng mga plastic bottles at ibang basura ay nakatambak sa kalsada or sa ilog, maaari itong makadulot ng mga problema tulad ng pagbabara sa mga kanal. So, next. Throwing waste on the river makes the river
receding, making the frequent high tides that reach homes and fishing grounds, resulting to the illness among residents and the business losses. So, ang pagtatapon ng basura sa ilog ay nagiging sanhi ng pagbabara sa mga kanal para babara sa mga kanal upang bumagal ang pagdaloy ng tubig. So, yung next dyan. Okay, next na. Initiatives and recommendation. So, more trash bins around the area. Installing more trash bins in public areas will make it easier for residents to properly dispose of their waste and reduce littering. So yun nga, nagtatapon sila ng basura sa ilog or sa kalsada. Naglagay tayo ng maraming naglagay ng patakaran para maiwasan natin ang pagbabara sa mga kanal. So, next. More programs about waste management. So, having program make the residents aware on how their improper disposal results to nature damage that after their own lifestyle. So yun nga, dapat lagyan natin ng patakaran or signage sa mga kalsada dahil ito ay nakakatulong sa atin. So, put up reminder sign. So, yun nga, maglagay ng palatandaan ng mga paalala sa pangunahing bakasyon at paalala upang mapangalagaan ang wastong pagtapon ng basura. So, penalty at hindi ko makita. Penalty, government making a law that will ensure that anyone who throws trash into the river will be punished or fined. So, naglagay ng mga palatandaan or sino man magtapon ng basura sa kalsada o sa mga lote ay at sa ilog ay mapaparusahan or pagmumultahin. So next natin is conclusion. According to the study, the issues of improper disposal of solid waste management Agone, Bulacan are primarily caused by lack of programs, lack of awareness, and being responsible of the people on their surroundings. The littering and dumping on solid waste on the road, vacant lot on river create worse change to all people's lifestyle. It is necessary to address these issues by educating the people on proper waste disposal as well as improving the policy and implementation of it. So, ayun nga, ang pangunahing dahilan na problema ng Agone ay pagtapon ng basura sa mga kalsada or sa ilog at sa mga bakanteng lote at sa mga kalsada ay nakakapinsala sa ating kalikasan. So, the next.
Good day. Today I'll be discussing assessing the impact of local waste management policies on land pollution in Marilao, Bulacan. In Marilao, Bulacan, as one of the rapidly urbanizing municipalities, land pollution has reached alarming levels, affecting not only the environment but also health and the livelihood of its residents. Industrial expansion, population growth, and inadequate waste management infrastructure have contributed to the problem of waste management in Marilao, Bulacan. The LGU, the local government unit, have launched various initiatives including waste segregation, collection, and recycling programs. But then, since the government launched its initiatives, the results of it have been mixed. But there is a significant gap between policy formulation and actual community level enforcement. With this, the waste segregation and waste management policies of Marilao, Bulacan is deemed inadequate. So this study aims to bridge that gap by assessing the effectiveness of local waste management policies in reducing land pollution, by understanding the barriers to extending their knowledge about actual community level enforcement. This study brings a formula for a successful implementation. Okay. So as you can see in the pictures, that the land pollution in Marilao, Bulacan is quite, let's say, uncontrolled. Okay. So in my evaluation of the policy effectiveness, number one, there is waste collection and segregation. So in waste collection and segregation, we found out that when we evaluated it, there is not enough collection policies. So what do I mean by that? People only knew that they had to throw their trash in a certain day at the week, but they didn't know that it should be segregated by nabubulok, hindi nabubulok, and recyclable. So all in all, the waste collection just goes like, okay, give me your trash and I will put it in the landfill. So there is not really some sort of management from the community. Okay, so second is the pollution hotspots. Okay, so one of the biggest contributors of trash in Marilao, Bulacan is the industrial barangays, namely Patubig, the Big Ilog, and Barangay Santa Rosa. And these barangays make up at least 60% of Marilao's trash input. Okay, so we think that it would be a huge potential if we bridge the gap in those areas. So number 3 is public participation. Since no one knows how to do it right, no one does it right. Okay, so number 4 is public awareness and compliance. So like I said, because nobody knows what to do, nobody does it right, but also it's a big part of the equation that they just don't do it at all, because it is just common sense. Okay, so when we viewed the challenges in enforcement and policy implementation, we saw two problems that is very common, or which is their common denominator. So number 1 is industrial waste management. One of the biggest contributors of trash in Marilao, Bulacan are the industries that take place in Marilao. For example, packaging of goods, packaging of frozen goods, and some sort of processing output. The process behind those outputs produce trash, and those trash are made by those industries. There is a lot of industries going on in Marilao, Bulacan, and about 45 to 50% of the trash of Marilao, Bulacan is just from those industries. Okay? And number 2 is waste infrastructure. What do we mean by waste infrastructure? It is those infrastructures like MRFs, the material recovery facility, and incineration of uh, flammable trash like paper or dried leaves to convert into power or anything else. Okay, so we can see that there are some common denominators in terms of policy implementation. So what are our recommendations for improvement? So number one is stronger enforcement of policies. So this is just a common knowledge that we should have a stronger enforcement of policies. So how do we do that? So it's just simply that you have to put more emphasis on the punishments or the consequences of not going through that process of waste segregation and waste management. So number two is expansion of public awareness. So like we said, the problem for the community to participate is that they don't know what to do. So we just need to tell them what to do. Okay, so number three is incentivizing recycling programs. Of course, people would respond to incentives. So waste management with incentives just pushes people to do more waste management, to do more waste segregation. And number four is improve industrial waste management. So like we said, 50% of the waste that's contributing to the land pollution in Marilao, Bulacan are from industrial waste. So if we have something or we have a system that could help aid those industries to better manage their waste, it will be a huge help to the worsening state of Marilao's land pollution. Okay, so what's our conclusion? The local waste management policies in Marilao, while providing a framework for action, face significant challenges in terms of enforcement, public compliance, and infrastructure. Although some improvements have been made, the policies have not been entirely effective in reducing land pollution. With better enforcement, expanded infrastructure, and increased public engagement, Marilao can address the land pollution issue more effectively. So that is it for our group. I hope that you learned something from us and that we will be a part of stopping land pollution.